site in the Vatican courtyard, the Holy Grail has become all but invisible. The twin fountains throughout alchemy and mysticism represent two different types of water. More precisely, they represent two different types of urine. And this gives a whole new meaning to the terms water into wine and take and drink. And now we can return to the deity portrayed in this stance and get an entirely new perspective. It should be totally clear why this posture or this stance is so important. We see Krishna doing it, the goddess doing it, the caduceus, all standing with this posture, all standing like the Amanita mushroom. As this deity is wearing only a draping around his waist and thorns on his head. Getting high, or the most high as we call God, is about climbing the cosmic ladder to Godhead, and ladders predominate in alchemy and mysticism. Jacob rests his head on some sort of a stone and has dreams of a ladder to heaven. In Christianity, in Freemasonry, even the tale of Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack climbs a vine to the heavens, or this cosmic spiral ladder to Godhead, and what does he find there? The golden egg.
The male and female portions of the mushroom consist of a breast and a yoni for the female, and a single testicle and penis for the male. By splitting the mushroom open in its earlier growth stages, the act of sex is blatant. All that is missing are the bodies of the god and goddess. In the Hindu myth, Shiva is a hermaphrodite. Like the mushroom, Shiva has a penis, one testicle, and a breast. In the book of Genesis, Eve was created from the rib of Adam. Actually, at this point, Adam is a hermaphrodite. Male and female he created them and blessed them, and he called their name Adam in the day when they were created. Adam, being male, represents the mushroom in its earlier phallic-like growth stages, while Eve, the female, is the womb-like opening of the gills. The reverse side, the single breast of the cap, is literally the Eve of the mushroom. When the Amanita's cap separates to form the Eve or canopy, it figuratively pulls a rib out of the stalk or stipe of the mushroom. The mushroom's universal veil tears away from the ribs and drops down, forming a skirt or apron. The Eve of the mushroom appears to be born from the rib or from the side of the male portion of the mushroom. Because this is the portion of the mushroom that is most often consumed, this is also the portion of the mushroom that provides enlightenment. The female provides enlightenment, and the female comes from the rib of the male. But there is another story in the Bible of enlightenment coming from the side of man. Not only is Eve born of the rib of Adam, but Jesus hanging on the cross is lanced in the rib, and out of his side comes the blood that is collected into the Holy Grail. So out of the rib comes the enlightenment once again. The Canterbury Psalter from 1147 has 12 segments representing the 12 signs of the zodiac. Each segment is a representation from the different parts of the creation of the world epic described in the book of Genesis. In the top right segment, we see Jesus, or God, as the Lord of magical plants. The red mushroom on the right is clearly the Amanita muscaria. The Amanita is said to produce the quickening of the spirit. The next one is obviously another mushroom, but it is blue. This indicates psilocybe mushrooms, which are said to open the third eye. Next may be a depiction of a Syrian rue pod, shaped as a mushroom, which happens to match this in color as well as a similar structure. Syrian rue, or Paganum harmala, is known to increase the effects of other compounds and also possesses other qualities. On the left is a depiction of an opium poppy, also shaped as a mushroom, and due to the euphoria it induces, it helps one to relax enough to let go in order to fully experience the visionary state. It helps one withstand the intense experience without the constant urge to make it stop, which is not an option, by the way.
The forbidden fruit, an apple, is obviously symbolic. An apple was chosen because it is a perfect fit for the actual forbidden fruit. Apples are red, and they are the fruiting body of a tree. The Amanita muscaria is also red, and it too is the fruiting body of a tree. When you take a bite out of an apple, you see the same white inside that you would see if you find an Amanita muscaria mushroom in the wild with a bite taken out of it by a deer or another animal. It is a safe alchemical representation of the actual fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, without giving away any actual knowledge of the fruit itself. We know that apple trees are not found among trees of the forest. However, this verse is symbolically telling us where the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil may be found. Looking in a pine forest for apples would be a good start. This holy oil was also used by monks who would shave rings around their heads and marinate a skull cap in entheogenically infused oil. And this cap was placed on the fresh razor burn on their heads, and the ring of hair around their head would serve as a sponge, preventing the oil from running down their eyes and into their face and down the back of their neck. And witches practiced similar ceremonies. The woman would put green plant material all over her skin, consequently turning her skin green. She would also put these oils in the most capillary-rich areas that she could find on her body, which just so happened to be between her legs. And the green witch with the broom handle between her legs has become the icon for the Halloween holiday.
A burning bush that did not consume. This bush spoke to him with a voice that could be none other than the voice of God. This truly sounds like a hallucination. Inanimate objects speaking, visions of flames, communication with the gods, etc. The word manna literally translates to, "What is this?" This manna was said to have appeared on the ground overnight, and it came with the dew in the morning. Psilocybe mushrooms appear overnight and flourish when there is dew on the ground. And if it was your first time to eat these mushrooms, your reaction just might be, "What is this?" A variety of psilocybe-containing mushrooms also grow atop the dung of cattle. The abundance of manure from their cattle would have provided ideal conditions for these mushrooms to grow. After fleeing Egypt, Moses did not wander the wilderness for as long as some would think. Moses knew where he was going, and he took his people directly back to Mount Sinai, where he first encountered the burning bush. This is when he went back up the mountain, and a few days later he came down with the first set of 10 Commandments. Since Moses had to travel to a certain location to speak to this bush, it can be suggested that Moses encountered the hidden manna on that mountain. He found a mushroom that only grows under trees, one that looks like it is burning, but it is not. Knowing that he would find this hidden manna on this particular mountain, Moses went back there as soon as he could. Here is a photograph of a psilocybe mushroom. Notice that the stipe of this mushroom is turning blue. When you grab a hold of these mushrooms and bruise them, they bruise blue, similar to a magnolia tree's white flower bruising brown. Jesus is often represented wearing blue, but even more significant symbolism of this mushroom can be found in India. Because when you understand that these sacred plants help sculpt all of the major religions, it will help make sense to learn that in Indian mythology, Lord Vishnu is blue and his incarnation is Krishna, just like the body of the psilocybe mushroom is blue. Here is Rama. Notice that there is no eye contact going on here. Rama's headdress seems to be the center of attention. Krishna is also blue, and he is typically depicted with a cow or cattle. Psilocybe cubensis mushrooms grow on cow dung. As a result, holy cows produce holy crap, whereupon the holy sacrament grows in nature.